The house that was never empty. They moved into the building at dusk, a young couple with a baby, searching for a fresh start. The rent was cheap, and the apartment looked empty and quiet. They didn't notice the broken windows, the rusty balconies, or the way the building seemed to watch them. They were just happy to have a place to call home. But as they entered the hallway, they felt something strange. The air was cold, and the silence was too deep, the kind of silence that makes your skin feel tight. No footsteps, no distant sounds, just a quiet that felt alive. They set up the baby's crib, unpacked their boxes, and tried to relax. The mother smiled, trying to ignore the feeling that someone was watching. The father laughed and said, "It's just an old building." But the building wasn't just old. It was empty, and it was waiting. At 2:13 a.m., the baby woke up crying. It wasn't normal crying. It was the kind of cry that pierces your bones. The mother rushed to the crib, rocking the baby, feeding him, trying to calm him down. But the crying didn't stop. Then, from the hallway, she heard a whisper. It was soft, barely audible. "Get out!" She froze. She turned on the light. The hallway was empty. Then the door slammed shut by itself. The next day, the father left for work, placing his keys on the table. He kissed his wife and said, "I'll be back soon." The apartment looked normal again. No whispers, no cold air. He thought the night was just stress. But when he returned, the keys were gone. He searched everywhere. The table, the drawers, the couch, even the baby's crib. Nothing. The mother was crying. The father was confused. Then the whisper returned louder this time. "Keys. Keys." The father opened the fridge out of desperation, and there they were. The keys on the top shelf. He didn't put them there. He hadn't touched the fridge. The air smelled like cold water, and he felt like something was watching him from inside the refrigerator. The smell grew stronger. It was the smell of wet stone, like a basement after rain. The father stood still, staring at the keys. He realized then that the apartment wasn't just haunted. It was occupied by something that didn't belong to this world. That night, the baby screamed again. The mother tried to calm him, but he wouldn't stop. The father held the baby, rocking him, whispering softly, trying to comfort him. But the baby kept looking at the corner of the room, as if someone was there. The mother took her phone and began recording the crying, hoping to prove it wasn't just her imagination. She wanted to show the father. She wanted to show herself. When she played the recording back, she heard something that made her blood run cold. There was a second voice, not a baby voice, a deep, old voice whispering behind the baby. The voice said clearly, "He belongs to us." The mother screamed. She fainted. When she woke up, the baby was asleep, but the crib was wet. Not from tears, from something else, something cold. The father began seeing a shadow in the corner of the room. Every night, it wasn't human-shaped. It was like a dark stain on the wall that moved. And every night, it got closer. One night, the father grabbed a flashlight and aimed it at the shadow. The shadow moved toward the light, as if it was afraid. But it wasn't trying to hide. It was coming closer. The light flickered. Then it turned off. The door slammed shut again. The father ran to the door and tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. The baby began crying, and the whisper returned. "Get out!" The mother and father looked at each other, realizing they were not alone. Something in the building didn't want them there. Something that had already taken a mother and baby before. Something that was hungry. That night, the mother received a call from an unknown number. Her phone rang. The screen showed unknown. She answered. A man's voice spoke. "We can hear you." The mother screamed and dropped the phone. When she picked it up again, the call was gone, but the number was still there. The father checked the call log. The number came from inside the building, from the same apartment, from the same walls, from the same dark corner. The mother turned around and saw the shadow move behind her. She froze. She couldn't move. She couldn't scream. She could only watch. The shadow was closer than ever. The next day, the father went to a local shop and asked about the building. The shop owner looked at him like he was crazy. Then, he told him the truth. The building was built on a graveyard. The ground beneath it was full of bodies. The building was not meant to be built there, but it was, and it had been standing for years. The shop owner told him about a mother and baby who died in that apartment. Their deaths were suspicious. No cause was ever found. The father's heart sank. He realized the voice had said the truth. The baby belonged to something in the building. He returned home and stared at his baby. He looked at his wife. He understood the danger. They were not just living in a haunted apartment. They were living in the same place where a mother and baby had died. Two voices began speaking at night, one whispering, one laughing. The whisper said, "Get out." The other voice laughed, and the baby stopped crying. The mother realized the baby recognized the voice. The baby wasn't being harmed. He was being claimed. The laughter was not human. It was the laugh of something dead. The father saw the shadow holding the baby one night. He grabbed the baby and ran down the stairs barefoot. He ran so fast, he didn't feel the cold floor under his feet. Neighbors watched in fear as he sprinted out of the building. The police entered the apartment, but it was empty. No shadow, no whisper, no sign of anything. But the air was colder. The smell was stronger. The building felt alive. The family left the building and drove away. They moved far away, to another city, to another country. They thought the nightmare was over. The baby slept peacefully again. The mother finally smiled. But 1 week later, the father received a strange text message. "You left your baby behind." The father stared at the screen in shock. He didn't receive the message. It appeared by itself. The family realized the curse didn't end. It had followed them. Years later, the mother still checks the windows every night. Not for burglars, for shadows, for the same dark stain that once watched them from the corner of the room. Sometimes, in her dreams, she still hears the whisper, "He belongs to us," and she knows the truth. The house may be gone, but the curse never left. Please subscribe for more